Who wants to start?
Would you officially categorize Steph as a go?
He's probable.
How was the last few days for him? It sounded like he might have scrimmaged with him yesterday.
Scrimmaged yesterday with some of the guys came in, the guys who don't play as much. The big minute guys stayed home, took the day off. I watched right from that window up there. I had one eye on the game tape and one eye on Steph. I had a good vantage point, and so we were able to kind of keep an eye on him while we were going through our own work. But he came out of it good. I talked to him afterwards, and he came out well and feeling good today. Went through the whole practice, so I'd be very surprised if he didn't play. But we got to, just for caution, we should we'll wait until tomorrow to see how he's feeling.
The fact that we won game one so easily tempt you to slow plays and turn it off?
Not at all, because the flip side of that is he needs rhythm. The only factor in terms of allowing him to play is his health, and he's ready to go. He's been cleared. So now it's a question of rhythm and how much time we give him, and that's important. He needs to get his groove back.
So I guess with that, he's an extraordinary player. He's got chemistry with everybody, but what does it take to fold Steph back into a game, a playoff game?
Well, I'm not too worried about him. I've seen him come back from injuries many times, and I remember in late December he had like 41 points in 30 minutes, I think, against Memphis in his first game back. You remember a couple of years ago in the playoffs against Portland when he went 0 for 10 and then made a 3 and did a shimmy. And as I told him, only guy ever in the history of the league to do a shimmy when he was 1 for 11, but made his next 5. That's who Steph is. Like sometimes it's just one shot for him that gets him going. So, but he'll want to get his legs underneath him, and so we'll try to find that balance between being cautious and letting him go a little bit.
He was obviously really good in the return game late, but through those playoffs there was maybe some thought that he didn't have all the burst back. What do you remember from those playoffs, and how does it relate to his return now and how cautious you guys have been?
Well, I think we did what we thought was right at the time. In retrospect, maybe he wasn't quite himself, but sometimes that's going to be the case. We didn't feel like we risked anything back then. We weren't risking any further injury, but he might have come back earlier than he did this time. I think he was out for 3 weeks back then.
15 days, but it was grade 1.
Yeah, it was a grade 1. It was different level spring, so everything was a little different. But Phil, this one's a little different. I mean, he's been out almost a full 6 weeks, which is generally the projected amount of time you're going to miss with this type of injury. So feel like he's in a pretty good place to come back right now.
So you wanted to have your minutes restriction on him. Is that easier to do it when he starts or if he comes off the bench?
Well, there won't be a minutes restriction. I've talked to Chelsea about that. It's not about putting a number on his minutes. It's really about his rhythm and whether he gets tired quickly or not. If he does, we'll take him out, and we'll have to figure out what that means in terms of when to play him, with whom, what the rotation would look like. So we'll figure it out.
Will he start for sure?
I'm not going to remember our policy. Come on now.
Durant start?
Yeah, I don't know yet at this point. Anything's on the table.
How much fun is it to talk shooting with a guy like Bruce Frazier, who just, it sounds like he every day talks to Kevin and Steph about what they need, what he's seeing, balance, bend your knees, but just having that set of eyes on 2 of your star players.
Yeah, Q's got a great feel for shooting. He used to give me advice back in college.
That was my next one.
Yeah, and he's got a really good eye for detail, and he knows that everybody's shot is different, and you have to take the elements of the individual shot and then figure out for that person what matters, what makes it go. And so he's got a great eye and a great feel, and that's why he works so well with these guys.
Did it give you something in college that you applied that carried with you?
Yeah, he actually gave me my future wife's phone number.
That's a big deal. Yeah.
It's a true story.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
He introduced Margot and me.
Okay.
So, but after that, I didn't pay any attention to like elbow or whatever.
Yeah.
Who cares?
That's where you got some.
Was he your best man?
What's that?
Was he your best man?
No, he was in the wedding.
Anything that he helped you with, though, specifically on your shot, that you credit maybe to him?
Yeah. I mean, when I was struggling, he would kind of mention what he saw. But who cares about that?
No. The other is a big.
Who knew my whole future was at stake? The lives of my children, they wouldn't be alive if not for
Do you remember
Q.
the day he gave you that number? Or
I don't.
What year? Or
No, I'll tell you the story though.
Yes.
He was dating my future wife's best friend,
Okay.
and so they set us up on a blind date, and they broke up like 2 weeks later, and Margot and I got married. So
We met Sally.
that's right. So anyway, we got off track, didn't we?
You got it.
I always get off
I
track.
love it.
It's way more interesting.
We love it.
Thank
It's,
you.
Yeah.
Hey, Steve, what have you thought of Sean Livingston and just sort of like how smart he is in terms of preserving his body during the season and
Yeah.
making sure that he's like consistent and ready to go when you guys need him most?
Sean's been fantastic in these playoffs. We're relying on him heavily without Steph. We've divided the point guard duties between Andre and Sean, and it's so great to have one or the other on the floor all the time. And I think both of them understand where they are in their respective careers as it pertains to maintaining their health, pacing themselves a little bit. There are times in the regular season where you're kind of like, come on, pick it up a little bit, but like, nah, not at this point. With all the wear and tear, they both need to conserve their bodies in the regular season and be ready for the playoffs. And you're seeing it out of both of them. They've both been awesome.
Does Sean's style maybe help even more in the playoffs? The fact that he plays a different kind of game Steph plays, not lingering at the 3-point line.
Yeah, I mean, Sean and David are really our two post-up guys. KD will go down there too, but we run a lot of stuff specifically to post up Sean and David, and it gives our offense a different look. And obviously with the shooting around those guys, it's a nice blend. So Sean's been a perfect fit here over his 4 years, and maybe more importantly, just an unbelievable teammate, human being, leader, just a phenomenal person.
Did you see the post-up stuff when he was in Brooklyn when you guys were looking
Yeah.
at it? They were starting, Jason did some stuff with him?
Yeah, we saw a lot of that, and we love the size defensively. We didn't know we were going to switch everything because we didn't know, we didn't know what we had in Draymond. But we knew with Andre, Clay, Sean, we got a lot of guys here who can switch. And then when we realized what we had in Draymond, so we kind of fell into, some of the things we do defensively now. But Sean is a huge part of that, his ability to guard multiple spots.
Steve, are you guys starting to play with that joy that you want them to play with?
Yeah, did you see that play when Clay hit the three in front of the bench and they were all like hugging him? I mean, that warmed my heart. So a lot of good stuff going on, but it's I understand the position that our guys are in. They've been doing this for 4 years, so they needed more stakes, and the stakes are high now, and it's bringing the best out of them. And big thing now is don't get comfortable, and we know what's coming. Game twos are always hard, especially when you win game one easily. So we can't let our guard down.
Does Steph just naturally bring that joy to you guys?
Yeah.
Do you feel like it's going to go to another level?
Yeah, Steph always brings that joy. He loves to play so much, and it's contagious with him. And so I think there's a good chance that putting him in the mix will only increase our momentum. But we got to play well to get that going.
Steve, talked about how he was tired after game one with the pace. How is it hard to kind of adjust to that when you go from this first team that goes up to some Pelicans and it's one of the best in the league?
Yeah, it is, but that's part of the playoffs. You're constantly adapting as you move on to whatever your next opponent does. That's what makes it fun. Good thing is our guys like playing this style. It's easier to adapt to this style than it was to the Spurs, because the Spurs are trying to make us do something we don't like. We like this, but so does New Orleans, and both teams are really good at it. and it makes for an entertaining series to watch for sure. But both teams have to be on guard and ready to get back in transition.
Is there a physical adjustment to that? Just the first, I guess, the first game was
a physical one in terms of how the guys are getting ready.
Yeah.
No, I think they were more tired in that game. Clay even said it. I thought there was a point third quarter where both teams were exhausted, and I called multiple timeouts, I think, in the third just to try to get us organized. Neither team was scoring, so we were in good shape because we had the lead. But I think both teams are going to have to execute better with fatigue that comes.
Do you remember the first time you saw Looney in camp and what he looked like?
3 years ago?
No, this year.
Oh, this year.
30
Yeah.
pounds later.
Oh, yeah. It was dramatic. And he walked in the door. Wow. That's pretty impressive. And then he played really well in camp, and we always could see his basketball IQ, but it was just great to see him healthy because of the 2 hip surgeries. He really wasn't able to get any momentum early in his career, and obviously he's got some now.
I mean, could you tell day one was it popping off the court like, wow, that
Yeah, and
weight loss
yeah,
really helped.
day one he looked good, not only just physically assessing his body and his body weight and how lean he was, but what he was doing on the floor as well.
I know matchups sort of dictate everything you do in terms of the center position, but what went into deciding, hey, JaVale might be better coming off the bench in this series?
You mean starting Nick, basically, or instead of him, or
just sort of in your decision-making surrounding JaVale specifically?
JaVale in particular?
Yeah.
Well, this is a different team we're playing against, different matchup. I think one of the things we established over the last month of the season was anybody was going to start. We knew 4 guys who were going to start, and then it became 3 once Steph went down. But the center position, kind of after the All-Star break, became a kind of a revolving door. JaVale started for a while. Steph got hurt. We kind of went back and forth with different people, Looney, Zaza. That was on purpose to try to get everybody to prepare for, it could be any one of you guys. And so I think we're in that position now. I think you guys know that we can start anybody at the 5, including Draymond, which we did in Game 1. But it's just everybody's got to be ready based on matchups. Our team is built in a pretty unique way. We got 6 centers. They all do different things, and we got a lot of other guys who are really versatile who can slide around. So we've got to try to put the puzzle together as best we can based on our opponent.